All right, in the previous video, we talked about adding fractions with like denominators. And just to be clear, sometimes you will add fraction with unlike denominators, but right now we're just focusing on like denominators. So when you're adding with like denominators, this is the directions you would follow. Next year, you will talk about unlike denominators more. So those directions are just for like denominators. On the back of this paper, you have subtraction. When you're subtracting, it's the same thing. The denominator is going to stay the same for like denominators. Now, there is a point when you're subtracting that you might have to reduce the fraction. And unfortunately, we're not at school, so we can't go into that more. So Ms. Lang is going to have to explain reducing fractions some more to you next year. But as you can see here, I've subtracted 3 minus 1, which equals 2. My denominator is going to stay the same. So I have 2/7, and that's when the answer is given. Here I have 3/5 minus 2/5. My denominators are alike, so they're going to stay the same, and I'm not subtracting them. So I'm subtracting my numerator. 3 minus 2 is 1, 1/5, which is an answer. But you get over here to number 13. You have 5/6 minus 3/6. My denominator is going to stay the same. My numerator, I'm going to subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2, so I have 2/6. But these are both even numbers, and I can reduce that fraction. So if we were in school, we would have had fraction strips, and to make it a little easier, I'm just going to give you these answers and show it to you to eliminate any confusion. But if I look here and I have 2/6, 2/6 is the same as 1/3. So I'm going to reduce this fraction to 1/3. So my answer is going to be A. Because you can see 2/6 is not an answer here. And it's definitely not going to be 8/6 because my numerator cannot be higher than my denominator. 14 is another one. I'm just going to give you the answer. So we're going to just review it. I have 3/4 minus 1/4. So my denominators are the same, but I'm not going to subtract them. 3 minus 1 is 2. So now I have 2/4, and this can be reduced. So I have, it's giving me the answers of 1/2 and 1/2. So that should give me a clue that I'm going to be dealing with the 1/2 fraction strip. And if you look, 2/4 is the same as 1/2. So I'm going to reduce that, and my answer is going to be 1/2. Now, this one might be a little tricky because I said we weren't going to subtract denominators, and we're not. But in this instance on 18, I have 3/4 minus 3/4. Well, that's going to give me 0. 3 minus 3 is 0. So instead of doing 0 over 4, I'm just going to do B, which is 0. So if you need some sentence strips, you can, or fraction strips, you can probably Google some, and that will help with reducing fractions. I just wanted to be able to introduce it to you this year. We would have went into depth with it more, but I hope this gives you a little bit of help, and you can bring this with you to Google Meets when we meet this week.